Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk movies, television, and wrestling. Now, of course, Lemon himself is Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for The Running Man. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Share them to leave a like. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on The Running Man, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, The Running Man, it is a reboot or an adaptation of the novel from Stephen King. Excuse me, sorry about that. Or, again, it's a reboot from the 1987 flick starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. This time is Glen Powell in the lead role, and, y'all know the gist of the story. Man is really down on his luck. He really wants to help his wife and his kid. So he joins the Running Man. And, if he wins, if he can survive for 30 days with everyone in the world trying to kill him, he wins $1 billion, and therefore his life is changed. And from there, chaos is afoot, right? Like, it is just a constant sprint, if you will, all the way to the finish line. And first and foremost, I think the performances are great in this movie. I mean, shout out to Edgar Wright, right? He always does a great job as a director. And what I really love about his films is that you can tell on screen, whether it be, a Running Man, which is more of a pure blockbuster type, right? Or, a Last Night in Soho that is, a bit of a thriller, a little bit of a horror. You can tell everyone on set is having a good time while making the film. And boy, you can just tell, again, how much fun everyone was having, whether it be Glen Powell, whether it be Josh Brolin, or to me, the real standouts, Coleman Domingo and Michael Cera, who are just a hoot and a half in this film. They really had me laughing and very engaged throughout the whole entire way. Every time they come up on screen, I will say for the most part, I mean, this truly is Glen Powell's movie. There's not a frame in this film that he is not in it whatsoever. And while everyone else is kind of just checking in every once in a while, there's like sections within it. Part of me thinks maybe this movie probably could have been better as a show. In a lot of ways, because you could really expand on some of the character dynamics that, again, Richards, played by Glen Powell, is meeting throughout every episode could have been, because this movie is a case of, okay, pre-run, then the run, or training for the run, and then as he's running, he's meeting different people throughout. So while I was watching it, it really did feel like, again, like a book. Chapter 1, pre-run. Here's how his life was before. Chapter 2, episode 2, the tryout for the run, if you will, right? He's trying out. Okay, now chapter 3, episode 3, the run begins. Episode 4, he meets one person. Episode 5, so on and so forth. You get the picture. But needless to say, even though I do think, hey, we could probably expand on some things here, and I am very curious to read the book. This is one of the few Stephen King novels I have not read. Again, just to see the landscape and how much more there is to the lore of this property of the Running Man. I still had a really good time while watching it. Again, I think this is a pure blockbuster film. In some ways, I do think this was the wrong release date for the film. I think this could have done well in a June or July. Granted, we did have a pretty beefy summer season. I mean, August, for crying out loud, was also pretty beefy, even though we had some smaller films. Maybe August, the second week of August, yeah, sure, that probably would have hurt The Naked Gun, which I love The Naked Gun, but again, I think maybe early August probably would have been best for this film. Or hell, you take it to December and put it out the week before Avatar Fire and Ash comes out. I can't really recall anything else that comes out during December. But yeah, in November, it's like this weird transition period that I feel like us movie fans go through, right? Like, we went through the blockbusters of summer where, it's just all about throwing popcorn in your face and not really thinking about what the movie is trying to say, even though we all do kind of think that to a degree. And this movie does have a message in it, don't get me wrong, but, it's not a message that you haven't seen or heard or even thought about before, right? Like, it's something like, yeah, I kind of already knew that, but hey, I appreciate the messaging that you're trying to convey here. And with that, within November, I just think these are the types of movies that we are kind of thinking of Oscars and thinking, okay, what is this movie trying to say? What is the execution of it? Oh my God, the cinematography is very beautiful and all that. And The Running Man, no disrespect or anything, it's just a really, really fun popcorn flick. And again, I just don't know if it's necessarily had to be there. Now, I didn't love everything about this film. Again, with the runtime that it's on, and again, with how we are presenting with some people, they're fun for the screen that they are on. Mike Sarah, he's very fun for when he is on. There's two brothers that show up. I cannot remember the actors' names, but when they show up, they are a lot of fun as well. Some of the quick interactions that Richards, again played by Glen Powell, is having is a lot of fun. The dynamic between him and Josh Brolin, again, is a lot of fun when they are having conversations. I just felt like I wanted a little bit more of that throughout the film. And also when we do get to the end, or as we're transitioning into the third act, I said this in my immediate thoughts, and I thought it, and I was like really proud of myself. So I'm going to say it here too. As it's running to the finish line, it does trip a little bit, because it does get to the point where in the first two acts, it's pretty obvious the story that they're trying to go for and what the themes are and what messages they're trying to convey to the audience, right? I think it's pretty damn obvious. But as we transition to this, another character gets presented again, and we're just presenting new characters. So you can't get fully attached to them. You like them for when they are around, but we get this new character, and all of a sudden, this is the character that we legit just met 2 minutes ago, is the one that gives this speech about, what the messaging of the movie is, which, is about, reality TV. They're on a game show. There's this constant bit, that's kind of taking jabs at the Kardashians, but they're called the Americanos. I thought it was a great bit throughout the film. But again, it's to show the messaging of the film that's trying to do. But how reality TV exploits people and doesn't really help people whatsoever. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. We've already heard it before. But when they really hammer it home and really trying to bring it to the focus of the film, I was like, you're kind of losing your way a little bit. You were at your strength when you had that in the background of the film, but in the front and center is just this wackiness and funness of a guy who's running for his life while everyone else is trying to shoot him, and they're just being quick jabs taking at each other from pieces of dialogue. That's all you really needed to do in this film, and just keep that going. And I do feel like the movie stopped a little bit just because, I don't know if we got the message out completely enough. So let's stop everything that we're doing to make sure we are portraying and making sure that this messaging is at the front and center of the film. It's still moving, don't get me wrong. Again, it's a sprint all the way through, but it does feel like at that point, there's a little more of a jog as opposed to a full-on sprint. But yeah, again, I don't know if necessarily I was in the mood for this kind of film. Again, I think I'm more thinking of, Oscar-type films and all that stuff, but that's no fault to this film whatsoever. Again, it's a lot of fun. But I will say, this is not a movie I'm going to tell you have to go out to the theaters to go see. If you want to go to the theaters, you'd be like, hey, I was kind of interested in seeing The Running Man. Me and the wife, or me and the girlfriend, or me and the boyfriend, whoever, me and the family. No, it's not really a family film. I can't really fully recommend that. Unless, it's a tame R rating film. But anyway, if you were thinking about going to the theater, go. I'm not going to stop you from going to the theaters to go see it. But if you're like, yeah, this seemed kind of interesting, but I'm not sure if I really want to go out to the theater to go see it, I'm not going to go, no, you have to go to the theaters to go see it. No. If you want to wait for streaming for it when it comes out on streaming, that's more than completely fine within it. If I had to rank this on the lemon scale, where you go sour lemon at the bottom, expired store-bought lemonade, a lot of bad, but hey, there is some good to it. Store-bought lemonade, good, but there is some bad. Lemonade, it's a movie. Freshly squeezed lemonade, very, very good, minor problems. And then strawberry lemonade at the very top because that's the best kind of lemonade. This movie is teetering between lemonade and store-bought lemonade. I think I'm going to lock it in at lemonade, but I could go to sleep tonight, wake up in the morning, and be like, no, that's store-bought. It's going to be flipping between those two every once in a while. Again, I know I've said it multiple times throughout this review, but it's just a lot of fun. And that's really all it is. Do I love my movies where I have very thought-provoking thoughts and, maybe I've changed some ways that I thought about some things before? Absolutely. And I'm only bringing this up because there was some controversy within the movie community about this film, and my stance is both sides are right in a lot of ways. Yes, I do like those. And was I more in the mood for that kind of a film as opposed to the film that I got? Sure, absolutely. But when I go out to eat, I do love my New York strip. It is the best kind of steak, and I will not hear otherwise. But I also like stopping and just getting me a Big Mac every once in a while. And yeah, this is really good fast food movies. I think, this is like a Rosa's Cafe. If we're going to compare this to food, it's not quite pure fast food. Again, there is messaging there, but it's still like you go through a drive-through and get it. So I'm going to say The Running Man is the Rosa's Cafe, or within the lemon scale, it is lemonade of a film. I will be happy to watch it again, but at home. I'm not in a rush to go see it in the theaters again, but still a very good time. I love me some Glen Powell. He's probably my favorite active actor working today. I loved him in Chad Powers. Love him in Twisters. Loved him in Top Gun Maverick. Everything that he's in, I'm a huge fan of. And again, to me, that streak continues to this day. Although I will say Coleman Domingo is probably the main standout in this film. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section. Leave a like if you made this far within a review. I do greatly appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. And until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.